In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the bum bag. This is the top piece of your bum bag, and this is the front, and the zip goes in between these two pieces. Your side pieces, this is the back, then you've got your clip and the belt, and then these two pieces are just bits of bias binding to bind the hems. So you could either make it all red, or you could turn it over and have it the other side up, or you could have a mixture and have the pink background and the red on one side. I'm going to take all of these away, and we're going to put the zip in first of all. So we're going to zigzag this edge, and we're going to zigzag or overlock this edge, and then we're going to put the zip in between those two pieces. Great, let's go. Zigzag right on the edge, okay? Near as you can, because you don't want to waste any seam allowance, and if you zigzag too far in, it will just fray and then get in the way of the zip. So take it right round that curvy edge. You begin to see, as I start sewing, how close I'm going. So can you see that? Maybe you can see more clearly on this side. So keep going all the way round. Cut your threads, put that to one side. Grab the other piece now, and we're going to stitch this very straight edge here with our zigzag. And don't forget, you can decide to have it this way up or go for the darker red. Doesn't matter. That's all the fun of this kit, really. You can choose how you want it to look, and the same goes for if you've got the green and the yellow, that's also reversible, so you can choose which side to sew. Trying to talk and sew, very difficult to concentrate, isn't it? So here we go, nearly done. There we go, done. So grab your zip and turn it over. So this is the right side with the zipper facing up. Turn it to the wrong side and place it on the right side of your bum bag. So this is my right side, and this is my right side of my zip and the wrong side. Now some of you might have a zipper foot. If you have, pop it on. If you don't worry. I'm going to show you how to do it without a zipper foot, so that we can all make this. So line the edge up of the zip with the inner edge of your zigzag, so there's a little bit of your zigzag showing. Put a pin in here, okay, couple of pins, so that's where you want to line your zip up. So I'm going to put a pin in, grab my pins. Have your foot on your machine line up as near as you can to the chunky plastic teeth of the zip, and you're literally just going to sew a straight stitch along there. Take your pins out as you go along, don't want to sew over those. The zip might want to nudge over as you're stitching, so just make sure you keep it in line here, and off we go. Taking my pins out as we go along. There we go. Now I'm coming up to the slider of the zip here, and it's going to get in my way. So with your needle down, either wind it by hand or you can do it on your foot. Make sure you do put your needle out down before you lift your foot up here, because otherwise your bum bag will wander around, and undo the zip a little bit halfway, okay, just so that we can get past and finish sewing the rest. And that's it. Cut your threads. There we are. Now before I go and get my other piece, I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to do top stitch. So basically this is now right side up. I'm just going to put a row of stitches along here, just because it looks nice. So I'm doing this stitch here all the way along, and the same thing goes for the, you might be able to go past the slider without having to move it, but if you do have to move it, just slide it along out of the way. So you see, zips aren't that hard, are they, to put in? Now we're going to do the exact same thing on this piece. However, this piece is curved. So I thought I'd get you to do the easy one first. So get the right sides together, and then you're going to, again, this lines up with this piece here. All right. Now you are going to definitely need some pins for this. Go all the way along there. Same distance again from the edge. And believe it or not, this will finish at the same place as the other piece. Line your foot up with the edge of the zipper and sew around, matching the curved edge with the straight edge of the zip. It will be a bit puckery, but don't worry about that. Right, my zip is in the way again here. Can you see that? So this time, needle down, foot up. I'm going to close it. There we go. That's out the way now. And you could just carry on round. So open this up. You've got the front side up now. And same top stitch. And again, this is optional. Just helps the pieces to lie a bit flatter though if you do it. This time just pull the seam apart as you're top stitching it. Like that, because it's curved. It's a little bit more tricky. And once again, if the zip is in the way, just slide it along, out of the way, so you can carry on sewing. Done. You just put a zip in. How brilliant are you? Look at that. Have a little play and feel really chuffed with yourself. So grab your side bits, here they are. I'm going to do mine with the pink side facing up. So just grab one. There'll be a notch. Can you see those? That is where the slider of the zip should match up. So when you sew it on, sew it this way up. I'm matching up these edges here. I'm going to pop a pin in there. Then I'm matching up this edge here. And then everything else in between should match up. So this time I'm going to do a little back stitch when I sew because it just helps the seam to not come apart. So keep these edges matched up, and you're going to just sew with a straight stitch all the way along there. Now this might move around as you come to sew it, but just make sure that those edges are all lined up. At this point, can you see how my zip's starting to fold? Needle down, foot up, and just readjust it and put the foot down with it unfolded and carry on sewing over there. Don't worry about the zip, you're not going to sew over it, it's miles away. Alright, your back stitch there, then you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side of your zip. There we go. So the next bit, grab your straps. We're going to stitch it that way, but obviously it's going to end up going out there. So head back over to your sewing machine, and we're literally going to do what we call a stay stitch, which is literally, we're just going to sew down there so it stays. So this is the front finished. So open the zip, keep the zip half open, you'll see why when we get to it. Make sure your straps are all like inside the bag. Grab your back piece. This is this solid piece here. It sort of fits. Match up all these edges. Okay, I'm going to start with the sides because they match up easily. Then these notches here, see this little snip? That should match up with the seam that you've just done. By the way, have that seam, don't have it go that way because that'll squash the zip. That needs to go back into the side panel. So pin along there. There's a notch that matches the notch there. So guess what? You are just literally going to sew right round there. I'm going to start right in the middle of my top straight edge. 1 centimetre seam allowance here, and start sewing all the way around. This is bias binding, and it's folded, pre-folded like that. Just sew in the fold, and the fold should line up with that stitch all the way down. Okay. Turn the whole bag over. We're keeping this folded under, and that's should match up with the stitch that you've just done. So we're going to edge stitch that down. So that basically means stitch it, fold it over. Basically what you're doing is just enveloping that whole raw edge, and you're literally just going to sew right on the edge. Of the bias binding, pull it right over. There we go. Keep going. Don't worry too much. This is going to be right inside the bag, so no one's going to see this. It's just basically it's just there to stop that seam from fraying. So go and grab your longer piece and do the same thing. Now this is why you left the zip half open, because this is the big reveal. Turn it inside out, and all of a sudden you've got yourself a bum bag. It's so cool. Grab your strap, the long piece, and grab the claw that looks like a lobster. This is the front. So have your bag and your strap front side up. Watch this. Okay, got that. The strap goes through the first slit, over the ridgy bit, and then back. Sort of looks like it's going backwards through there. And then obviously you're used to this from your rucksacks and things. That, if you give it a little tug, will hold. Okay, then what we're going to do is just fold this over once, twice, and just sew a row of stitches down there so that doesn't fray. All right, grab the other bit of your buckle. This doesn't have a back or a front, it's the same both sides. Get your short piece and literally round there, and big old stitch. Fold that messy bit under, and a big old stitch down there. By the way, your webbing might be red. I think I've ordered some red, so different colours to you. I'm going to go all the way down there, and then I'm just going to back stitch back up again over it, just for good measure. Back and forth. There we go. You have just finished yourself a gorgeous bum bag. There you go. Have a go. Well done, guys. You are brilliant.